Every day, in every Sikh temple across the world, free food or langar is given out to anyone who's hungry. It's a principle that goes back 500 years to the founding father of Sikhism, Guru Nanak, and it's known as seva, or selfless service. Ravi Singh is a British Sikh who takes his Guru's teachings to another level. Not content with feeding those in his local temple, he regularly risks his own life to take aid to those most in need in some of the most dangerous places on the planet.
When we work in this region, we have to be very fast. You can't stay in one place too long. It attracts the wrong attention.
In this film, to mark the birthday of Guru Nanak, we follow Ravi as he makes the extraordinary journey to northern Iraq on the eve of the battle to retake the ISIS stronghold of Mosul.
We're like in a live conflict zone. Anything could change any moment.
Through Ravi's work and the stories of those he's fought to help, we'll reveal why he puts his life on the line for the Sikh teachings at the heart of his faith. Today is Ravi Singh's birthday, and he's visiting his Punjabi mother 3 days before he's about to leave for a trip to one of the most dangerous countries in the world.
How does she feel about you going away next week? Where are you, how does she feel about that?
She didn't know. I don't tell her a day before I go. She's always praying like he comes back, I come back in one piece. It's strange, like I'm 47 today. And my mother is still like, treat me like a teenager. But I'm very proud, she says. Very proud, but I'm always very worried.
Ravi moved to Britain when he was 11, but he grew up in a small village in the Punjab.
I was very skinny, and I was extremely naughty child. He's equally as good now as he was bad when he was... I agree with her. I was terrible. I think if the village in Punjab had Asbos, I would have been served Asbos every day of my life.
But 17 years ago, Ravi turned his back on his bad boy past and re-embraced the Sikh faith of his childhood. He made the decision to start Khalsa Aid, an international relief organisation based on his religious principles. Now, every few weeks, he and his team travel to the world's disaster zones, from earthquakes in Nepal to floods in the West Country. It means leaving his family behind and putting himself on the front line.
It's all right, we'll sort it out. Yes, there's danger. Is it worth the sacrifice? It's worth it for me, because it's the calling within.
Ravi has made it his life's work to put his Sikh ideals into action, not just in his local Gurdwara, but wherever help is needed most. And in 72 hours, he'll be in northern Iraq, a country about to face one of the greatest humanitarian crises of recent years. Ravi has arrived in Iraqi Kurdistan and is making the 2-hour journey from Erbil to Duhok.
The area is well known because we're like, you could say, in a live conflict zone. Anything could change any moment.
It's a route that takes him within 30 miles of one of the most dangerous cities in the world, the ISIS stronghold of Mosul.
Mosul's on our left, we're veering towards the right to Dohuk. Mosul is still under ISIS occupation control, so we have to be careful.
As Ravi makes his way north, coalition forces are preparing for an attack on the ISIS capital.
The final countdown for the Battle of Mosul is underway. Major General Rupert Jones says Iraqi forces will make the move within the month.
Peshmergas and the Iraqi forces, they're trying to, cut all the roads to Mosul, so they don't get any more supplies from Raqqa and other places, so they can, eventually attack.
This area of northern Iraq has become a haven for Yazidi families, an ethnic religious group forced to flee their homes 2 years ago by the threat of genocide at the hands of ISIS, who believe they worship the devil.
Summer 2014, and a humanitarian disaster is unfolding in Sinjar, in northern Iraq. Thousands of Yazidis are fleeing the Islamic State, their men being murdered, their women being taken into sexual slavery.
It was an event that brought their plight to global attention.
So I was watching the news with our family and friends, and we saw the Yazidis crossing, with whatever they could carry. It was a very, very sad sight. Behind them were ISIS. In front of them was like these unforgiving mountains of Sinjar.
As ISIS attacked their villages, 50,000 Yazidis were trapped on Mount Sinjar. And despite the risks involved, Ravi made it his mission to help. For the past 2 years, he's been making regular trips to deliver food to the surviving Yazidi community, who are now living in camps and abandoned villages across the region.
My faith actually plays a large part in this. It strengthens my resolve to carry on, because as Sikhs we have suffered persecution. It shouldn't make you hateful. It should make you even stronger to serve others, so that you can try to help those suffering what you have suffered. Hello, Susan, it's me, Ravi. Are the food supplies loaded up? Are they ready to go, yeah?
Yeah, they were ready. I just did.
Okay, all right, we'll be there soon.
To help him organise the aid on the ground, Ravi works closely with the Jinder Centre.
Hey, mister, congratulations on the wedding, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell him congratulations on the marriage.
An organisation that helps the Yazidi women and girls who've escaped ISIS rebuild their lives.
When he gets married.
موجودة.
And how you doing? You okay, Susan? Yeah, good to see you. We missed you.
Susan Farmi is a Kurdish coordinator who's been working with Ravi for the past 9 months.
Hey, Basma. So we're here. Are we loaded with the food?
Yes,
So we've prepared everything,
Okay.
and we load some of them.
So these are packs already all done. And are these the same size packs as last time?
Yes.
So these need to be loaded, or this is going now?
This is going, and more carts are going to load.
Every month, 400 Yazidi families are provided with vital supplies, making the difference between life and death.
I mean, each pack here, you got tinned tomatoes, you got pasta, you got oil, flour, salt, even tea. They also get a bag of rice separately too. And the cleaning pack has bleach in it, soap in it, and scourers and sponges. And then the washing powder is like a big bag, because they need to make sure they keep the clothes clean, and it's quite big families.
Yeah.
So this is a big washing powder.
Yeah,
And the sugar here, the separate bag. So there's quite a lot in each ration.
But Ravi knows it's not just the food packs he brings that make a difference.
I think what people need is hope.
Yeah.
They have hope somebody is coming.
because you guys come every month, and they're waiting every month. They're like, hey, the Sikhs are coming. I never knew who Sikhs are. I mean, when you guys came, and I was like, oh. And I mean, you presented the best humanity I could ever see from someone. I mean, I literally cried when I went home, and I was like, see, they came, they knew nothing about these people. All they know they need assistance, and they are coming here helping them, and coming all the way from UK.
Okay, guys, shall we go? Let's go.
Dabchin in Kurdish.
Dabchin. Dabchin.
Although Ravi is well known within the camps he delivers to, there is no Sikh community living in Iraq. So outside the relative safety of the towns, his distinctive appearance makes him a potential target.
As we go towards our border areas, I become more aware of my identity, because we're actually you could say, in a conflict zone. A lot of people identify with the beard and turban and neck their way because of what ISIS are doing. So this is where it starts kicking in, who I am, and you know, my sixth sense kicks in. I've got to be extra careful in this area, how I'm perceived. Hence why I wear different color turbans. You know, we don't wear the black or the white turban, so that we don't get seen as ISIS. It's quite sad, really, because you know, being a humanitarian, that shouldn't be the case.
The first camp Ravi is visiting is close to the Turkish and Syrian borders. The Yazidis living here are all from Kocho village, which was attacked by ISIS in August 2014.
Most people who are going to come here for this food are women on their own, and they're from a village called Kocho, and the village, basically the men were slaughtered by ISIS. Almost all the men were slaughtered, so they don't have real breadwinners in the family. So majority of the recipients of this food aid will be the women who survived the massacre. And this is why it's very important to give food here.
It's estimated that at least 300 men and 80 older women were shot by ISIS in Kocho village. The younger women were taken away into sexual slavery. Sarah was one of them. Members of her family are still in captivity, so her name has been changed to protect her identity. After being taken by ISIS, Sarah and 2 of her children were held in Raqqa in Syria. She was raped by her captor and gave birth in captivity. During her 15 months imprisoned, she made many attempts to escape.
عسد شانين جنبون وبرشان وكفى برديت كفن إباري هكذا هرسل قاعدين بدرشين وجامدن ما برنا مستشفى مش ما مستشفى غن إيه كتشكيل ملين بود تختورة فحسكرن وتشتو داني دا إيه كتشكل بان مدام مرتش أمشون وهدو قدي برنا غرفة سر تختورة جوا شعدا عبان صاروا اشتهنجي أموسا هرسل دارون من المستشفى هاد صورة جرا قرتن واسكر ما حبسي دور رابونا وصورة شوان زارورا قرتن ونير جلك سبيكر نوها مناشر كرنو تالي قوتن قبل مسحينا ودا صورة دوان أولا.
So they wrapped them in white cloth and took pictures on social media of her dead children.
إنجني جاوي سبيكر من صورة وجرا قرتن وش مستشفى درانين برن أصلا زانم قور كرن آبيتن تشتكي جينا زانم ناش تصويرشم. نوري علي حسين نوري علي حسين كامني فامني ليلى ياسنهاد.
Every single family here has suffered hell with a very little response from the global community. It's disappointing, actually, what I personally feel, because the Yazidi community don't have anything to offer to the world, like to the Western powers. No oil, no economic gain. So like anywhere else in the world, when you're weak, when you're poor, when you're a minority, you don't mean much. So nobody really cares.
But for Ravi and those who support the work he does, the poverty and political insignificance of the Yazidis isn't what matters.
I'm so proud of my community. Honestly, they never said, not one person said, don't help them, they're not Sikh, you know. It's just 100% unconditional support. So it makes me really proud to be who I am. And that strength comes from my faith when we say, recognize the whole human race as one. And there's also that concept of, in my faith, Sarbat Dapala, which means well-being of all. We say it every day in every prayer. So we put it into practice. You want me to help you? Yeah, where? Where you want to take these? Where you want to take them? Where? I'll help them.
Although this area is full of official camps for displaced people, they're overflowing. And when Ravi first came here in 2014, he discovered unofficial camps which had sprung up in buildings abandoned by workers fleeing the advancing forces of so-called Islamic State. One of these is Sharia village.
All right, kiddos, long time, 2 months, I haven't seen you guys.
This half-built school is home to 138 Yazidi families.
So now, here you are. Good to see you again. Hello. And this is Shanaz.
And to one teenage girl in particular, who is one of Ravi's greatest inspirations.
She's always smiling, this one, always smiling.
Shanaz?
We've known little Shanaz now the last 6 to 8 months. She's a refugee, a Yazidi refugee from near Mosul, right?
Yeah.
And she's 13 years old, doesn't look it, she's disabled. She's also blind. She doesn't really know too much of her whereabouts, just a sense of touch, which she responds to.
Shanaz was born disabled and lives in one room with 14 members of her family.
When we first found Shanaz, she was on the floor here, and no bed, nothing. So we went to the place with my colleague Amarjit, and we bought this nice little pink bed for her, and just to make it a little more comfortable for her. I mean, they're providing the best care to the family. They love her to bits.
Yeah.
They just need a little help. Oh, there she goes. She's smiling away.
2 years ago, Shanaz and her family were amongst the thousands of Yazidis forced onto Mount Sinjar in the crisis that first brought Ravi to Iraq. In 48-degree heat, facing starvation, and with ISIS behind them, Shanaz's mother Bahar had to carry her daughter to safety.
Seven days with Shanaz and the family? It's very tough. I can't imagine what they've gone through. People see refugees as young guys, you know, doing this, doing that, but nobody really sees the suffering, the disabled. Yeah. How do you carry a severely disabled child across the burning mountains to seek refuge in the nearest building like this school?
For Ravi, meeting Shanaz is a privilege and an inspiration.
We're really busy. We deliver food, we pick up food, we deliver. And then when we came to see Shanaz, everything just came to a stop in this room. It was like that. Time stood still. Everything, nothing else mattered. We carried on deliveries with other people. We went to buy bed for Shanaz.
Hurry!
For me personally, seeing someone like Shanaz, it really reawakens the spirit to do even more.
Hey, you're right.
No selfies today, huh?
It's Ravi's final day in Iraq, and he's spending the morning in Dahok.
Today we're meeting some of the girls who've been released or freed from ISIS. And also a couple of boys, young boys, suffered a lot.
اف براي منا نافي اميره ازو براي يعني براي منا ام البادا عشان بيغرا ام دهم حال بادا عشمان.
We going to take them shops with Jinda Center girls. We will fund clothes for them. They can choose clothes. It's not really much. It just gives them a little break from that daily routine because nobody really asks them how they are, what happened to them. And this way they come into the city, they get taken to the shop, they buy some clothes. It's not just about delivering food and stuff, it's also making them feel a little bit more human as well. Like, you know, that personal touch that we do care.
Amir and Ahmed Amin are brothers. They were captured by ISIS when they were betrayed by a local Muslim who gave their location away when ISIS invaded their village.
أمبرنا تدريبي صار دربان صار صلاحوان ومقطعي سرجي كرنا بيشمات كرن وقوتنا ما جو هارن أمي واشين الدولة العربي.
Nadia, whose name has been changed to protect her identity, is the mother of 5 children. She and her 11-year-old daughter were taken into sexual slavery.
المدرسة دابون هاتن غرفات قريان هاتشي أنا قيد اللي وعم ببيع بريها مو كاتش كبير.
رجعت دوي هاتن قف قشكي دي سبهي في جوان هم برن هاتن بزور برن كرنا قوتين يعني قريان بزور نفكي فاهم برن قيشت قريان هاتشي قيشات داكاوي قول باق أف قيشام يقول هات كشوك النبان رابونا داكاوي رابونا قيشكي بشحفيت قلتم داك شاندن برن.
ISIS held regular slave markets to buy and sell Yazidi girls.
اليوم سوق السبايا، اليوم سوق وما ملكت أيمانكم، اليوم التوزيع.
إن هنا جي قاضي مازنون وهنا جي نساء عاديون، هنا كاجي يعني هنا كاجي دماء ومستروتنا يكودوش وربيع بازار سالما تشيت كده.
والله من يبيع؟ أنا أبيع. ليش؟ أنا أبيع. يا ولد زيديتي وين؟
آی ولی مادی مزانی بچندی خودی ما حقی ترم بیلگی و کچک یعنی کچکش مجنب هاتلون کچک دفتر کی
تختلف يعني زورك تختلف قلبها نقو يعني نقو
هم جن كيمي كچكابون قلتن كوش بر معيشة تازاغي واقو مواخوي ناكن
يزيدية سبية تقدر عليها
قضية يعني تقريبا فقرين مكبو سروان بس يعني مقالك حاولان تناقه موان ما كانش حاولان بو مو براخو كل ما مخو يعني قالك فقرين وان ام تشتغل فقرين خناقه مش فقرين خو بابيج.
It's estimated that 3,500 Yazidi women are still in captivity. Nadia's 11-year-old daughter is one of them. She doesn't know where she is.
يعني عارف زحمة يعني إيش عيالي زحمة تلو بيش عليهم يعني كجامدون.
كلنا نصيب والله يا رجل
يعني حيوان شوان شديد دي يعني تشن يعني فان سمعتها يعني إسلام يجيش كنانديا يدجنا من دولة الإسلامية نا دولتك أو نا هم نفسها وحشان نفسها كلامي خدي كلامتي مجي كلامتي مدرسة كشكي دي زيادة دي بس كلامتي بدست عباد كرين وبرنا غرفة كده وهتانا يعني تشونا بالي زوجان يعني تشوف أفنا جريمة.
Ravi's visit to Iraq is at an end. Tomorrow he returns home, and it's a moment to reflect.
Almost every family say the same thing. 2 of my daughters are held, 3 of my daughters are held, my mom's being held. It actually brings chills down my spine that as a parent, how would I feel if that was my daughter? I would go beside myself.
But no matter how dark the suffering he's seen, Ravi still believes it's possible to start again. It's a conviction born out of his own experiences.
Sometimes there's a reawakening of the soul. But it takes something to reawaken you. And in the mid-90s, I discovered my childhood friend in the village, Channi, was brutally tortured by the police in India in 1989 and killed through torture because he was a practicing Sikh. And I was clean shaven, living it up outside in London, didn't care about my faith or anyone. And that really hit me so hard, say, what the hell am I doing? Look at me. My friends, my best friends being killed by the police. So far away, I haven't spoken to him. There's so many things I wanted to say to him then. Everything came flashing back. That's all gone. So next day I wore a turban. And I've never taken it off since.
It's a moment that led Ravi to re-embrace the religion of his childhood and become a living testament to the Sikh ideal of selfless service in the world.
His killing didn't make me into a hateful person, a vengeful person. It made me more into a humanitarian. That hate achieves nothing. So it doesn't matter where you come from, we can all change. We can all change our lives. You don't have to stay as you are.